Hi folks, this is a follow-up to last week's video on the fire situation in Nova Scotia and how the government basically dropped the ball in a big way. A couple things you need to know about the Department of Natural Resources and what's actually happened in fire control over the last 10-12 years, we'll say. Initially, Nova Scotia had a well-trained, highly efficient, rapid response heli-tac crew based in Shubenacadie that was available for immediate dispatch to remote areas throughout the province. They were our first line of attack in most cases, and in a lot of times they would actually arrive on a fire scene ahead of ground crews. And a lot of times you'd get there and they'd already have their fires surrounded, and in a lot of cases they would hold fires to a couple of acres that if it hadn't been for them, they could have turned into fires the size of the Shelburne fire. So a push started in around 2010 to 2012 to disband that crew. New management had come into the forest fire protection sector, and they had different views on how things should be done. So when things didn't pan out their way, they decided they'd eliminate the heli-tac crew, and they created a justification to do it. The crew got disbanded. The large Bell 212 helicopter that we used to have, which had higher capacities than all the current fleet. They could lift more, they could carry more people, they could drop more water. And they were the only aircraft we had that was capable of operating a 5-person heli-tac crew. So the province no longer has that capacity. And to make matters worse, the next step that fire control did was they disbanded our fire tower system. We had a highly functional, extremely reliable system of fire towers throughout the province that the province at the time believed that cell phones could take their place. So they were a secondary insurance policy that we had, and it got canceled as well. Everybody got laid off. All the towers were allowed to fall into disrepair, and then they've since all been taken down. And then the third major thing that's happened in Nova Scotia is there was a major change to the fire permit system. For those of you who don't know, you used to have to come into a district office and get a paper permit and talk to somebody, and they would ask you questions and point out conditions to you on the burning permit that if you screwed something up, you were probably going to get a ticket, you were probably going to get billed for fire suppression, and they'd make you aware that if you burnt down your neighbor's property, you were probably going to be sued. At least 50% over my 29 years at Natural Resources of the people who came through the door, I was able to talk out of getting a burning permit and convince them to wait to burn on rainy days or wait and do a winter burn. And you'd be surprised how many people were willing to go out and light fires in bad circumstances that ultimately could lead to the disasters that we had in Nova Scotia here over the last few weeks. And so that system is now gone. So there's three things that happened. We disbanded our heli-tac crew and sold a helicopter. We got rid of our fire tower system, and we brought in a more convenient but a lot less accountable system for fire permits. So those three things have contributed directly to what's currently just happened in the province, and I can promise you it's going to continue to happen. The other thing I'd like to bring up is the amount of wood that's laying on the forest floor since last year's hurricane. And I don't believe that the province is prepared. There's a bunch of things that need to be done. The province is aware of what needs to be done. The other thing that we're asking for once again is to create a database of all the retired forest firefighters like myself who are incident command trained. We're not in a position to do frontline fire, but as pointed out earlier, for every one person on the front line, there's 3 to 5 people in the background making the whole system work. And that's where our expertise and years of experience can really be an asset to the province. And for the life of me and the people I've talked to, we cannot figure out why the province won't take advantage of this. As a matter of fact, the last video I made now is upwards in the range of 1 million views, and still no calls from the province, even though they said they put my name on a list. I'm assuming the list I'm in on now is not going to be a real good list down the road for me. Anyways, call your MLA and hold their feet to the fire. Make them make changes to this system, or it could be your house next burning down. Right now, the province is looking at probably $250 or $200 million for the Tantallon fire, and another $50 million probably down in Shelburne. And those are only ballpark figures, but they saved $11 million by deleting those other programs. Basically, $11 million insurance policy that they canceled. Now they've got a fire claim that's going to be probably closer to the range of 250 to 300 million. That's what we call bad decision making. Anyways, folks are going to have to live with it. Get prepared. This is a good time to go over your emergency planning at home, and just develop a healthy distrust of what the government tells you. You need to learn to do your own research and do some background investigation. And a lot of times, if a politician's lips are moving, it means he's lying to you. See you later.